Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. I am taking a look at the menu. Look at it. It's this big. The menu of this wonderful restaurant that we're going to talk about today. Uh, Gosh, it's like a Stephen King novel. You have to start with one chapter and then go to the next and go to the next. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together live here on Facebook, 10:30 in the morning every morning, where we discuss headlines that have to do with our lives in Mexico, our lives in Puerto Vallarta, our culture, our surroundings, and we combine that with a nice cocktail of questions, comments, ideas, and suggestions that pertain to those of us that are English-speaking locals here in this beautiful city we call home, Puerto Vallarta. It is always a pleasure. I will stop fiddling with the crochet on the table. It is always a pleasure to get together with you. And it is always a pleasure to welcome new friends into our broadcast. So if you are new, please let us know. And you can do that by writing the word new in your comments. And if you have important questions, let us know by adding the letter Q at the beginning of your comment. And that way we'll be looking for them. Let us cuff first. See, that was brief but meaningful. Let's find out who is in the house today, beginning with Ricky. Thank you so much for joining us. Angelo is in the mapas. Great to see you. Shum para pam pam pam. John is awesome. Got my taco map all ready to go for April 23rd when I arrive. Well, by April 23rd, John, we will have added at least one, maybe even two new taco places to the map. So the more we add, the more useful it'll become for all of us that choose to support Coffee and Headlines and thus have access to the map. Oye, it's Thursday, says Dave Schwartz. Yes, greetings from El Centro. I love it. Let's see what else we have. A wine getaway with a family. Take me with you, Christy. That sounds like a beautiful thing. Of course, Christy is in Wine County. I think you are in Wine County, aren't you, Christy? Don't type your response because you're driving. But safe voyage. Have a great time with your family. Let's see. Thirsty Thursday bars. You guys want me to completely wreck my waistline and now my liver? Seriously? I don't know that we can do Thirsty Thursday, Sherry. Well, not on a weekly basis. But I will commit to this. Let's negotiate. If I find a spectacular cocktail here and there, I will definitely showcase it on a Thursday. That sounds like a fair idea, I hope. But no, can I possibly be thinking of bars on a weekly basis? No, we cannot do that. That's not good for the soul. Well, it's good for the soul, maybe not so good for the liver. But I'll keep my taste buds open for amazing cocktails because I do happen to enjoy a creative cocktail whenever I go out. And I'm always curious to see some of the creative cocktails that are available in some of our restaurants. Let's see what else. It's getting a little monotonous. I wonder what you are talking about, Karen, because I don't want anything to be monotonous here. Your feedback is always important. So let me know what is getting monotonous. Did I get to download the bird that says peekaboo? Not yet, Joe, but it's on my list of possible things to bring up in on Sunday Funday. But it's definitely on my list. Thank you so much for sending it to me. Let's see. I love it when you say things like, I love your hat, but I'm not wearing anything. Too funny. Uh, Good morning, Piva. I hope you're enjoying your visit with your mother in Washington. Well, I know your mom is outside of Washington, D.C., but I'm hoping that you'll have a good trip with relaxation and family time. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, so I think we're pretty. Oh, I was talking about the dreary weather in Minnesota. Minnesota is MN, right? Minnesota. You are the sunshine of my day. Oh, you are the sunshine of my day, Karen. What are you talking about? Thank you very much for clearing that up. I'm always concerned about your well being. Did you share those ugly photos of the Liz Taylor sculpture? Not yet. I am saving it um, for Sunday. And it's a dilemma. It's really a dilemma because on the one hand, yes, the sculpture is fugly, but on the other hand, there is a living person behind that creation. And whether it's beautiful or not, or at least I'm hoping to believe, somebody was commissioned to do that. So somebody provided money to put food on the table for someone. And I get this back and forth. I mean, the one part of me says, okay, Paco, just be snarky and tear the damn thing apart with commentary. But the other side of that is, somebody is making a living doing it. Somebody's feeding a family, possibly children, with ugly things like that. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we're definitely going to feature it at some point. That's for sure. Okay, so with that said, let us get started with the news. We have all kinds of things from Russian vaccines to COVID passports to, day pass suggestions that came from one of you to one of our own cluster is having an art exhibition, and how could we not mention it? And of course, I promised you a report on a fairly new restaurant in Versalles that has me all enamored. And that's where this ginormous menu comes from. And we'll get to that towards the end of the broadcast. So let us get started with our news as usual. Note to self, it's kind of time to start changing the little music transition thingies between one section and the next. I'll get creative. Mexico's Foreign Affairs Chancellor Marcelo Ebrard will travel to Russia from April 24th to 28th to meet with Foreign Affairs Secretary Sergei Lavrov. I hope I said that, Mr. Lavrov. I hope I said that right. Anyway, he's meeting with Lavrov to ensure that everything is in order for Mexico to receive 24 million Sputnik vaccines as agreed by both countries. Ebrard will also take the opportunity to visit with his counterpart, who was actually in Mexico City in February of last year, to strengthen relations between both countries. I'm not sure if what they strengthen is relations or relationships, but that's the way it came out of my mouth. What do you know? Although this wasn't specified in AMLO's present conference this past Tuesday, when Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador announced the Mexican Patria vaccine, it turns out that the Mexican vaccine is being developed using technology and in collaboration with a New York university. And I'm so glad that the name of the university appears in this photograph. It's Mount S, and I thought about the word that starts with S, and I've never actually said that word, and I didn't want to fuck it up. So, Icahn School of Medicine at Mount S. I'm not going to try to say that word because I don't know exactly how it is pronounced. But that's how the vaccine is being developed. The article that I'm showing here provides details about this agreement along with the names of the actual researchers involved in the vaccine development. Now, a couple of times this week we've mentioned how we're waiting in anticipation to find out what's going on with the numbers after the vacations. As it turns out, and it makes perfect sense, we are not the only ones concerned about the possible increasing COVID-19 cases after Semana Santa and Semana Pascua. Um, for that matter, I think any of Mexico's beach tourism destinations is waiting to see how much we wrecked the place. So Nayarit is awaiting with anticipation as well, according to this article, given the fact that the neighbor state also saw a considerable amount of tourists enjoying themselves. As we've mentioned earlier, the end of this week corresponds to 2 weeks after the end of the vacation period. So the reports we hear from the federal authorities, along with the weekly report delivered by Jalisco's Governor Enrique Alfaro this Sunday, will be significant to get a sense as to how we're doing. And how are we doing? Yesterday, I'm going to break from the news to tell you a little bit of how my day went yesterday, if I may. I had to walk into town to run some errands and buy more yarn for my projects. And I found myself quite dismayed, not freaked out as I used to get, but quite dismayed to see the increasing number of people walking around town without a face mask. It doesn't make me crazy as before. It doesn't raise my stress levels. I've learned, as I hope many of you have, to sort of navigate around those people. But there's a part of me that as I was walking into town, I couldn't help but to get a little blue, thinking, well, you know, we know what we're supposed to do. We know how to do it. It's difficult to appreciate how one single person not wearing a face mask might make a difference. But I firmly believe that it does. And it just bummed me out to see that behavior yesterday around the city. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm hoping that at this stage of the game, we've all learned to manage our stress level around people that don't wear face masks well enough that we can actually navigate around them. We've said from the very beginning of the pandemic that there are fights we can pick and there are fights we can win. And walking around the city, shaming people is probably not a good idea. But again, that was my experience yesterday, and I'm going to go back to your comments in a second, but I'm just looking at this one from Dave Schwartz. Having had both vaccines, it doesn't freak me out as much, but honestly, what are folks thinking? What are folks thinking? That is the bottom line for me as somebody who lives here and wishes for a quick recovery for everyone. But that's enough. That's enough. I just wanted to let you know what I saw walking yesterday. Let me go back to the headlines, but I'll come back to your comments in a second. This one comes from Vox. There is an increasing mention of a vaccine passport in the news, but what is it, or what are they, and how does one get one, and why are they becoming controversial, and how important are they? Well, for those that travel a lot, and particularly those in the United States, this explainer article in English from Vox might be helpful, and you will find it in the show notes along with everything else that we mentioned as usual. Now, let's take a good look at your comments just to see where we're all at. Shooby-dooby-doo-doo-doo. Good morning in Guadalajara, now catching the Vallarta Plus to PV today. Good morning, Brad. See, you are braver than me because I don't want to get on one of those buses. And that's my personal choice. I'm not saying don't do it. I have not been vaccinated. Somehow I have more faith in the ventilation systems in airplanes than I do in the bus lines. So, Brad, all I can say is I wish you a buen viaje, and I hope that your trip is uneventful, and I hope that you have a good arrival here in this city. Let's see. Let's see. Da, da, dee, da, da. Let's see. I said the guy's Russian name right. How would you know that, Paul? You don't speak Russian either. um, See, Ronnie, it's a debate. You're absolutely right. You know, it's a hard. It is horrible, but and I'm not qualified to say whether it's art or not. All I know is that it was put in one of Puerto Vallarta's public places and permits monies and installation something commission payments must have been circulated one way or another. Oh, there is the S word. Thank you. See, I love it. I love it when I ask for corrections or help. Cyanide. Cyanide. Oh, and Paul says Sinai. Sinai? Sinai? Ah, there you go. That's the one I like. Sinai. Mount Sinai. English is so confusing. Sinai. Oh, thank you, David. I love it. Thank you very much. Rhymes with sci-fi. Mount Sinai. I love it. I love it. I like that one too. Thank you so very much, Cluster. Um, let's see what is going on here. I so agree with you, Paco. Useless to get angry, but feeling blue is exactly the right words. Well, yeah, and that's the way I experience it. But of course, there's this part of me that needs to be careful with blue feelings because I'm chronically depressed. So I also need to be mindful of things that trigger my blue because it can get out of control. So and I'm not saying that for you to feel sorry about me. I'm just thinking out loud of what I need to do to keep my coping mechanism healthy. Let's see. It has been a challenge gently nudging all of our fully vaccinated guests arriving to continue wearing their face masks throughout the common areas and to continue respecting distancing. I can only imagine, Logan, for you and for anybody running a hotel or an Airbnb or any kind of guest house, it must be increasingly confusing and difficult to encourage people to abide by local guidelines. So, all I can say is I wish you patience and I wish you medication and brownies and time to recharge your batteries. And that is so important for those of us that are locals that are working all the time and that need to balance our workload with our ability to heal ourselves. Um, there are those tourists who feel that because they're in paradise that masks aren't important. The worst thing is that the locals don't say anything because the tourist money is needed. A no-win situation. Yes, it is an awkward situation. Needless to say, Matthew, there are certain places where, I don't care how much a tourist you are and how much you think you're privileged enough to do whatever you want. You can't walk into a restaurant wearing a face mask. Conversely, I've had the uncomfortable situation in which I've had to hop on a yellow cab in the last few days, and didn't. I could not tell the driver, "Hey, buddy, wear a face mask while I'm in your car," because yellow cabs have clearly decided they're not going to do that if they don't feel like it. Now, I'm not saying that all yellow cabs are behaving that way. Some yellow cabs are wearing, some yellow cabs are not. And whenever I get off a yellow cab that is not wearing, I get to a place where I can wash my hands really quickly. Let's see. Hold on to be responsible for yourself, can't change others. Thank you, Liz. I think we've been preaching to that tune since the get-go, and we will continue to do that moving forward. I'm loving your comments today. Thank you so very much. Um, Ronnie is gung ho about this sculpture. She wants justice. She wants art. I love it. I will do some research. I will actually call and find out because I think it's an interesting conversation. Why do these things get sort of perched in the city, and who makes those decisions? Fascinating. I'll try to find out. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to get to the T, but I will definitely try to find out. Let me see. I think. Oh, it's time for the weather and some really cute news. Hang in there. Hang in there. Let's see. I've heard it on good authority that all TV weathermen are furries. Ooh, sexy. Well, I don't know what that is about. What I can tell you, though, is that it is 27 degrees Celsius right now, or Fahrenheit would be 80 degrees. It feels like 27 Celsius. Humidity is low, 38%. So it's a good day to go walk and enjoy the precious few days or weeks that we have left without walking everywhere and just dripping like a hose. Um, Today, we can expect a clear day, a high temperature of 31, low temperature 19. Tomorrow, Friday, will be clear through the day as well, high temperature 31, low temperature 18. And Saturday, clear through the day, high temperature 31, low temperature 18. I am starting to wonder when we will see the first 32-degree day, which must be right around the corner. And then, of course, we know that the temperature will continue to increase. Okay, so this one is so useless but fascinating. Let me cue this for you. Boom. Can you believe that there was a time in which you could actually take a ferry from Puerto Vallarta to Los Cabos? We learned from Contralinea that on a day like today, 47 years ago, a ferry service between both tourist destinations was inaugurated and it remained active for 14 years. For 14 years, you can hop on a fairly large boat, according to this archive photograph, and and that would have been fun. Presently, the only ferries that operate in our neck of the woods, to the best of my ability, go from Mazatlan to La Paz, which is the capital city of Baja California Sur. Now, if you are thinking, well, show us those places because you promised, I am going to do that because I did promise. Let's see. Here is Puerto Vallarta. And how do I get rid of all this stuff? Get away. Get away. Anyhow, here's Puerto Vallarta, and there's Mazatlan, and there's La Paz, and there is where the ferry arrives from Mazatlan. And for those people that have taken the ferry, I understand that it's really a fun thing because you can bring your car on the ferry, and if you want to be driving around Baja, um, then you can continue your exploration on your own vehicle, or you can take the overnight ferry just for the fun of it. And that's just what it is. And there is a website. If you Google Ferry Mazatlan, you will be taken to the website that provides this service and the company that provides this service, rather. Let me continue with more news. This is speaking of Thirsty Thursdays. You will be you will want to know that the price of limes increased 25.4% during the month of March. Its most significant increase since August of 2020, which means that your margaritas may become a tad more expensive moving forward. And those chips and guacamole, well, avocado also increased in price by 13.2% since this past February. Why? Well, March is the month in which the smallest amount of lime production takes place in Mexico, along with that of serrano peppers. As far as avocados go, well, their increasing price goes hand in hand with their increasing popularity abroad, and the resulting exports are the driving force of this popular Mexican delicacy being more and more expensive. By the way, we have mentioned it in the program before, but I'm wondering if you know what the origin of the name aguacate is, which is what we call avocado in Spanish. And because I know that you're itching to remember, because you've probably forgotten about this, aguacate comes from the Nahuatl, which is the language of the Aztecs, the Nahuatl word aguacatl, with a TL at the end. And the word aguacatl originally meant testicle because of the shape of the avocados. So whenever you're saying to someone at a table, pass me the aguacate, you're actually saying, pass me the testicles. Isn't that yummy? I thought you would appreciate that. Let us do one of these. Okay. Let's see. What else do I have? Great news! Somebody from our viewers was so kind to share this information with us about the day pass at the Buenaventura Grand. This is the first hotel as you're driving south into Puerto Vallarta's Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. Is the first hotel on the right hand side. They feature several day passes, and I think I'm going to go there because this looks really yummy. For example, they have one that is a breakfast day pass, 580 pesos per person, and it's from 7 a.m. to noon. And then there's one that is the lunch one, which is 680 pesos per person. That's from noon to 5. This one is the one that I like the most. It includes access to hotel facilities, lunch, snacks, beverages, use of the gym, pool, and beach area. Then they actually have a full day pass, which is from very early in the morning to late at night. To 5 o'clock rather, and that's 949 pesos per person. That's pretty much the same thing, but it includes the whole day. And then they have what they call a relaxing day pass, 1,649, which includes all of the above, plus access to yoga and a relaxing 50-minute massage. And but you do need to reserve that ahead of time. So this seems like a good deal right in the middle of town. I don't know if their pool is with kids or without kids. No offense to family folks, but I would rather have a peaceful pool without children. That's just me. If that makes me a horrible person, well, I am sure that Luna will wish me insomnia for a day or two. But that's what it is. I wanted to share that with you just as an FYI, and we will have that in the show notes. Let me actually also tell you that one of our own, March Heaney, is the featured artist of the week at Culture. I didn't even realize, or maybe I forgot, that Marge is an artist, and her work is on showcase at Culture through this week. And for that matter, Culture is celebrating World Art Day today with special discounts, special menu, meet the artists, etc., etc. Today seems to be like a good day to go and hang out at Culture. If you don't know about Culture, Culture is a beautiful restaurant bar in Colonia Emiliano Zapata that features artist studios, and they have these periodic events in which they create connections between the artists, the art that they create, and those people that enjoy a nice cocktail and a nice time, and of course the opportunity to meet other people. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we talk about this fabulous restaurant that I want to tell you about. Let's see. Bam, ba-dum, bum, bum. All TV weathermen are furries. I think this calls for investigation. I totally agree, Paul. Show me a TV weatherman. I'm kind of furry. In fact, I am furry. What can I say? But I'd like to research this further, especially among the lady weather people. Never mind. Let's see. It's a much harder trip from Vallarta to La Paz than Mazatlan, sea conditions wise. I can imagine it would have been like a really long journey. Sylvia and I are on the same page. That Mazatlan ferry trip is on my bucket list. I hear it's a good idea to book a room on the boat. 14-hour ride. Not only would I want to book a room, I would want to book a buka so that I can pass the time, with my buka. But that's just me. Of course, it's just wishful thinking. That it's never going to happen. But the ferry, yes, I do want to do it. Elizabeth Taylor is rolling around in her grave. Actually, I think she has more important things to roll around. I mean, if she was rolling around in her grave, I'm sure it was when she realized that the cinema that was named after her became a porno theater and continues to be a porno theater here in Puerto Vallarta. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go and have a little bit of pickle tickle while you're pretending to watch movies, it can be done in good old Emiliano Zapata, in the friendliest city in the world, of course. Logan comments, I've had friends that take overnight ferry between La Paz and Mazatlan pre-pandemic. I understand it was quite the party on board that night. See, Logan and I are on the same page. Thank you. I love that. Let's see. Avocados are gold bars, absolutely, and so are testicles. Balls, yes, yes, balls. Avocados are balls. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see what else we have. Uh, Sylvie was about to eat one. I hope you're talking about avocados, Sylvie. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. I mean, we work so hard. We deserve a testicle from time to time. Um, no Katos in my pool, thank you. Well, I hear ya. I hear ya. Glee loves culture. I'm sure culture loves Glee. Uh, let's see. Marge is a topic today. Of course, Marge is a topic today. Uh, Mount Sinai is in the Bible where Moses got the Ten Commandments. Well, it's in the Bible and in New York State. Um, you think furry means something different than I think it does? Well, don't burst my bubbles, Sean. I am sticking to my kind of furry. Um, until I find a better furry to research, I suppose. Okay, and speaking of research, I want to tell you about this amazing restaurant. I found myself having to walk all the way to Francisco Medina Asensio the other day because I needed to get cash to go out and have dinner with some friends. And on the way back to meeting them, there is one specific street that is parallel with this other street that I would always walk by. And I figured, I'm going to walk down this other street that I believe I've never walked past before. And there it was, this restaurant, which I've heard about, but I have not actually seen until that day. And it's called Comedor Versalles Gastro Bar. Can I show myself? Yes, I can. Let me turn myself into a circle. I'm going to have to do that for each one of the slides because I didn't prep uh, my little itty bitty window. But look at how cute this place looks. I walked by it and I asked them what time do they close. They said we close at 11. I looked at the menu and no, that dog is not about to take a poop. He just happened to be doing a Luna pose. But I was intrigued. I went and met with my friends and we came back and had dinner at this place. And there is part of the inside, and the inside, of course, had this brick oven for pizza. And of course, by this time, I had already seen the menu, and I'm going to show you the menu in a second. But the restaurant is essentially a very long venue. The front half of it is 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 al fresco. It has outdoor seating, and oh my God, I didn't set up any of these little windows. There I am, floating above. Um, and this place looked increasingly cute as it got darker because of all the lights that were hanging over it. And then the second half of the restaurant, the backside, is I'm sorry, this photo is a little blurry. It was a little dark in there, and they had not turned the lights on, but it was. The ceilings are tall enough that you don't feel like you're indoors. It is very, very, very cute, and most of the restaurant has um, decoration that includes some of the logos of the food that they handle, and the menu is like there's all this stuff. There's all this stuff. Like we literally, can you see how much food they serve? Let me tell you a little bit about what they have. They have tacos. Then they have quesadillas. Then they have papas al horno. Oh dear, oh dear. What do you call it when you wrap your potatoes in aluminum? And is that baked potatoes? Yes, baked potatoes. And their baked potatoes, they come with either ribeye or shrimp or octopus or sausage chorizo. So it's creative stuff. Then they have a section of empanadas, and I noticed that they're made on the premises. If you have a savory empanada, I had a cheese and a jamon serrano empanada, which was prepared on the spot, and I mean the dough. It was prepared on the spot. They have wings, they have ribs, they have octopus and shrimp. Then they have these brick oven pizzas, very, very thin crust pizzas. I had the spicy octopus pizza, and it was absolutely delicious. They have a section of pastas. They have a section on salads. They have grilled stuff, ribeye, T-bone, tuna, shrimp. They have sandwiches. They have seafood. I mean, they have everything. It is one of those restaurants that you have to take your time. You have to go back and explore the rest of the menu. They have a very complete, creative cocktail menu and wine list. I enjoyed a passion fruit margarita that was absolutely delicious. And it was like, who knew? Who knew? And it's like 4 blocks away from my house. It was wonderful. Needless to say, how about prices? Mark asks. The prices were very affordable. For example, their potato with octopus is 128 pesos. Um, so if you get one of those plus maybe a quesadilla, yeah, that'll be a small meal. I had an empanada which was 45 pesos, and the octopus pizza was 189. So that means that my meal without the drinks was about 250 pesos. And they deliver. They are involved with Uber Eats and Rappi and so forth and so on. So there you go. It was absolutely unexpected and wonderful. And needless to say, it is our latest addition to our Versalles for Foodies map. I haven't added it to the map, but I'll be doing so during the day today. And somebody says, address, please. It is located on Lisboa. Lisboa 169. Since we had a map around, I can show you exactly on the map where that is. Let me see. Lisboa 169, Puerto Vallarta. Come on, Google Map. There you go. Let me see. Okay, yes, I can do this. I think I can do this. Yeah, there it is. Boom. There we go. Okay, so here's Francisco Villa, and here's Lucerna. And Lucerna is the street that I always take into town. And there's sushi in-house, which we've mentioned before. And here is Lisboa Street. Here is a trailer park. And Comedor Versalles is located right here, right behind Hospital Versalles. It is very close to everything, and it is right smack in the middle of Colonia Versalles. It is called Comedor Versalles. Julie asks for the name of the restaurant again. I will include it in the show notes. So let me now very quickly take a look at your final comments before we sign off. Stephanie says that Google says Lisboa is 171. Well, I tell you, in this particular case, Stephanie, I would suggest you send a letter to Google, because the map that in the menu provided by the restaurant says they are at 169. It's not a deal breaker, baby. Let's see what else we have. Your final comments. Let's see. Now Paul has a hankering for balls, for testicles, for avocados. Paul, baby, you are in the city of Washington, D.C. You are in the District of Columbia. You should be able to find presidential avocados, presidential balls, or something to keep you entertained. Let's see. Mount Sinai Hospital is located in New York City. Good to know. Can't wait to try Comedor Versalles. I highly recommend it. Did I miss where this is? No, you didn't, Karen. And if you had, you know that all this information is available to you to rewatch whenever you want and in the show notes. I love the dog. He wanted his camera time. I didn't notice a dog until this morning. Let's see what else Stephanie added to the list of eateries. Bananas or plantain. Did we say bananas? Did we talk about bananas at some point? Maybe I said bananas. I don't remember. Spicy octopus pizza. Yes, spicy octopus pizza. Oh, and they had these dressings. There were these dressings in little plástico chingadera containers. The dressings were wonderful. There was one that was made with habanero, one that was made with chipotle, one that was made that tasted like guacamole. And you can throw these in your salads, in all your food, and it was just yum yum yum. Um, Oh, pues. Let's see. Sounds delicious. Yes, it does. Sounds wonderful. May I bring my 6 kilo well behaved dog? Well, Betsy, I tell you, I forget to ask these things. I forget to ask if they have vegan stuff or vegetarian stuff. And because I don't have a dog, I forget to ask. But what I suggest to you, Betsy, is that you direct your question to the very nice people from the restaurant, which I'm sure will welcome your question after we share the Facebook page with you. Last but not least, if there was another happy dog in the restaurant, I don't see why they would not accept your very well behaved dog. Let's see. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think we're done. Yes, we're done. Not bad, not bad. I thank you very much, as always, for joining us in Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together. And I thank you for asking questions. I thank you for your very insightful comments today regarding face masks and all this stuff, all these things that are important to us. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon, between today and tomorrow, maybe, between today and the weekend, maybe. So, between now and then, please stay happy, stay kind, stay well informed, stay well fed, of course. And last but not least, stay in touch. Have a great day.